taste it, taste it, taste it. Wanna see you taste it, taste it, taste it. Then I wanna see that you can make it. Taste it. Then I wanna see if you can take it. Taste it, taste it, taste it.
Dark vibe, I like that. There we go. But yeah, I got the guys in here. You know, you heard the music, Snafu, distinguished gentleman, the legend himself, Mr. Automatic Tron. You know, it's from what? It's from Inglewood, 61st. Tell them, you know where you've been. The people, they've been looking for you for years. We out here.
Man, I just been out here grinding, man. You know, chasing these greenbacks and trying to stack me some gold chips. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it on my business ventures, you know, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is everything. Pillar No, you know, we vibe, we heavy on the entrepreneur.
Yes, we are.
We don't be looking for no jobs from nobody. We
Exactly.
our own jobs,
Exactly.
You know, just politicking with him. You know what I mean? Start a t-shirt business. I sell stuff online. I do a lot of that. That's like 80% of my business is online. So.
Yes. And tell them, you know, how long you been in the music game, you know, with your love for music.
I've been in the love for music for years. Probably about 20 plus years in the music game. Dropping joints, you know what I mean? Ain't dropped nothing in a minute. Ain't produced nothing in a minute, but I'm probably finna get back into that and finna give y'all a nice little treat, man. Put my daughter on some joints, man. She got some skills, you know. 7 years old, but she developing. She's really musically, she's deep into her music thing, you know what I mean? But I know where she got that from.
That's what's up. And can you get them the history of like Snafu and Distinguished Gentleman? That way, you know, they can understand the music and where it's come from, like songs like Taste It, Political Warfare.
Snafu is Snafu is a crew of guys, you know, that we formulated back in the days when you know, we used to hang out on the block and you know, basically get high and drunk all day. Then we always freestyle it over freestyle beats or whatever, so we did that for a while until we started transitioning. The Distinguished Gentleman, that came from one of my guys who started, he used to stay here in Chicago, so he now lives out in California, you know what I mean? So
what's his name?
His name Shadari, but you know, he got about 50,000 names, so that we started doing that with him, you know what I mean, and you know, it branched out from there, and you know, we do that, you know what I mean. Tony Good do a whole lot of the Distinguished Gentleman, and you know, his brand too, Curry Media, so you check that out too.
Now, when you made like the hook for Political Warfare, like what was like going through your mind as you like made that hook, you know?
I mean,
and your verse, how you came up on the verse.
You know, at the time when we got that song, man, we was young, but we still had insight to what was really going on. You know what I mean? So it was just like a feeling on just what's on the inside. You know what I mean? So. Actually, my cousin actually came up with the hook, and we just rolled on it. You know what I mean? And it's irrelevant to what's going on with the times now. You know what I mean? Who would thought that would come back up? But you know, we did it. You know what I mean? And it's still like the same thing going on now today. You know what I mean? So definitely what we spoke was from the heart. You know. And
for those who don't also know the history. I know you and Cuddy Schoolwoo and JH had like a crew back in the old days that used to inspire me. I was young.
Ronald Conway.
And Ron, who mother was, what's his mother's name?
His mother was Sue Conway.
The actor, right? And
Yeah. They're my peoples, man. I've been knowing them peoples, man, for years, you know what I mean? I think Ronald was the first one who really got me going with the music thing, you know what I mean? My uncle was a DJ, so, you know, we was heavy into hip-hop back then. You know, we was crazy about hip-hop back then. You know, we was probably some of the first ones who ever did it back then. You know what I mean? And we just started forming groups and start performing for his mom and his band or whatever. It was a beautiful woman, you know what I mean? It was encouraging, it was inspiring to be in that setting of being around people who who do music, who play instruments, who sing, you know what I mean, who's authentic in what they was doing, you know what I'm saying? For me, that was inspiring, so I just continued on with the legacy.
Yeah, because your history connect back to like KKC Pink House.
Yeah, when King to King College was right there on 69th and Wentworth. Now, I come from that era, so yeah.
Yeah, so then a lot of people understand that, like, you know, like you say, 69th with King to King used to be one of the premier music stations. Was like, what was it like?
That was one of the first stations that was playing hip hop on the radio. WGCI, like now today, you know, they wasn't playing hip hop. They was playing rock and roll and pop back then. You know what I mean? So WKKC was one of the first places that was playing hip hop. You know, at the time where people said, well, hip hop was a phase, and apparently it ain't phased out yet, have it?
You see, it's the top genre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I was watching the birth. I come from between. That 70s R&B, you know what I mean, ballad hits, you know what I mean, to transitioning into that hip hop and house, you know what I mean. I saw the birth of all that come alive, so.
And I'm glad you brought that up because you also are a producer and you made Why Not Birds beat to his song She Don't Know.
Yeah.
Which is one of the songs I love on that project.
That's true. I dibbled and dabbled in some, some producing, making some beats and stuff like that, coming up with ideas and concepts to a lot of songs that
yeah, because you automated the beat for my joint Kepler, you know what I'm saying, talk about the history.
That's right. Kepler, what else I do with that joint? I did
we got some, man. We did Be Safe together.
Be Safe. We did
we got that For Reasons, you know.
We got a bunch. I produced a couple.
Oh man, we got so many songs, you know. We got
a couple of
projects. Dream About Paper.
Yeah.
And he produced another joint from Why Not Birds.
What's the song that you did for Lil JoJo? Superstar, yeah.
Yes. So there's not just a rapper, not just a guy with a t-shirt. This guy a producer. And he got that.
I mean, I'm a jack of all trades, man. I got my hands into everything, man. I'm self-taught. Ain't nobody got to teach me really nothing, anything, man. And if you do teach me, man, I'm gonna pick it up and run with it, man. I don't have no ceilings, no caps, no limits, no limitations. You know what I mean? I go beyond. Plus Ultra.
Tell them, Plus Ultra, man.
Plus Ultra. So yeah, that's Hero Academia if y'all sleep.
Exactly. And you know, it wouldn't be right, you know, if we didn't talk about the history, because this one, I know he's just like me, he's a big history buff, you know, we definitely feel the music, we're gonna bring the conscience back to the music where it belongs. So can you just touch on some of the history form that they need to understand as we move forward into this new dimension?
I mean, it's so much history. You know, Noble Drew Ali always say, man, there's nothing else to study yourself. I mean, when you get done, guess what? Study yourself, because it's so much, man. You know, they have us blinded with these blinders on, man. Really don't want us to tap into our true essence of our real greatness of what we're really capable of. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got some out here that's, you know, swaying their own ignorance because they don't know no better. But you do got people out here who do know better, and you do got people out here who do prey on people's ignorance too. So it's just about knowing yourself, man. You know what I mean? The history runs deep. Once you find out the greatness of your history of your people, you know what I'm saying, beyond Africa, just beyond that continent, man, there ain't no limit to what you can do. That's how I feel. That's how I move and operate. That's why I'm self-taught. That's why I'm driven the way I am, because I know that we have no limitations. You know what I mean?
Exactly. 'Cause this is our land, right?
This is our land. It's always been our land. This is North Africa.
Right,
for those who don't know. You know what I mean? Morocco was the first ally of the United States. Once the United States became united, it was the first ally. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you'll come by my house and I'll be flying my flags, and people be asking me, man, what that star mean? Or what, you know? From Chicago, people be thinking, you know, one thing, but when she start to know, once all the gang leaders and where they get that out from, where they get they laws from, where they get their foundations from, it's gonna come back to the Moorish nation. So once you study that and understand that, can't nobody tell you nothing. You know what I mean? You could be whoever you want to be, but you need to find out a little bit more deeper than what they telling you, because it's way deeper than that. You know what I mean? And some stuff when you might find out, you probably ain't gonna want to find out because you can't take it back once you find it out.
That's what's up. And another thing, not for the fan base, you know, we call you Tron, we say Automatic, but you also had other names before that, right? Like what, like Technique or something?
Yeah, Technique. JH name was Skills back in the day.
Hey, you know, they had. I was just telling He Real how I saw KO post up the Crucible Culture album and had JH rapping. I was like, I want people to hear him as also as a rapper too, because sometimes we forget how he used to be MC low key back then compared to what he is now. So
we used to murder the game in high school.
Right. You know, these guys I used to grow up listening.
We was the ones that was battling people. We was the ones that was always at lunch at the table. Right. That's be us in the corner.
And what school was this?
Oh, we went to Paul Robeson back then.
No, and Paul Robeson the Moore, for those who know the history. So it's like, no, I'm coming home, Inwood. I remember them guys doing this in grammar school on the stage, talking about the city is rough and it's tough and all that stuff.
That's right. We were still in high school, man. We were still fresh out. We were still 8th grade. We were still coming into it. You know, we was freshmen and all that. You know what I mean?
Well, was there any artists that were hot back then that people probably don't know about that you be like, hey man, Only Dude kind of stayed with it?
It was a lot of people, man, that was super dope, man. Super dope.
Can you give like this one name for just in case somebody in the street might?
I think one dude I remember, I think his name was Kendra or something like that. Kendra was always dope.
Oh, K.O. Razin?
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes got deals back in the day, man. I thought they was so dope to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
man, they had mad flow, man. I thought they was real dope.
Oh, man, it'd be dope if we get y'all on the track, man. You know, maybe do a video for just for the hood. Now this is Inglewood, and for those who don't know, like when they talk about like Little JoJo and them, like this is the era we really came from before them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they grew up. I grew up watching him.
Oh, y'all.
They grew up
babies.
watching me. Right. So it's like we just it continues, and I think sometimes these interviews are important to understand the continuation. Like we talk about Pink House. You know, when people they talk about English, they talking about like Chief Keef, but we really never gave Pink House his honorary. It should be like a mural of this man out here so people understand what he kind of did to open doors for other musicians.
Now on every station now, they got hip hop on every station.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like I told you, WGCI used to play pop and rock. They never played R&B and they never played hip hop. Then they switched over to R&B in the 80s. In the late 80s, they switched over to R&B. So they play a lot of Luther and everything on the radio, you know what I mean? So, you know, they got to move with the times, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I remember growing up and having my uncles, man, they used to play in bands and stuff. I had an uncle that was a DJ. I had an uncle he was deep in the bands and playing guitars and instruments, you know what I mean? So I came from an era where this was surrounded by music, man.
Exactly.
That's all we had. We didn't really have, wasn't no cable, wasn't no YouTube, wasn't no iPhones, wasn't no none of that stuff, man. You have to make stuff up as you go.
And what would be your advice to, like, you know, young artists who are basically us when we were their age, and what was some mistake that you think they can learn from that we made back then that, you know, they can capitalize on now that we didn't capitalize back then?
I think they should take advantage of all their opportunities, man. They should take advantage of all their opportunities, man. You should grind it out too, man. It ain't gonna come to you, man. You gotta grind it out, man. You gotta be serious about this, man. You gotta be like all in when you come to your music, you know what I mean? If you're just doing it as a hobby or something like that, something that you know, whatever, that's cool. But if you dead serious about what your craft is, man, don't let nobody tell you nothing, man. You keep pushing forward. That's it. Grind it out. Go harder. Make better music. Don't make no trash either, man. Make something that people can feel. You know what I mean? Make it where you can feel or understand that. I don't care if you gotta break it down to the simplest terms to do that. They have to feel it. What was that? What's that young boy who dropped the joint? Who's that? Lil Baby?
Yeah, Baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which song? The Cop Rockstar song?
No, not the Rockstar song. He got a song before that. I think The Bigger the Picture or something like that. Something like that. He dropped the whole. They play it on radio. He dropped a whole lot of gems, man. He just talked about what's going on with the times right now. He had a song that's basically on that. Plus, he do his other joints or whatever. But he took time to show another versatile side of his style. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I could drop gems too. You know what I mean? I don't always have to talk about guns and drugs and women. I could drop gems. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? You gotta do something for everybody, you know? When you look at some of the past tense artists, they did some of everything. They touched some of every kind of, touched all the bases. They didn't stick to one style, one flow, talk about one thing. Because everybody ain't got money. Just keep it 100.
Tell him, bro.
We trying to get money. Everybody ain't got money like that. That sound good, you know what I mean? It's good to dream. But I would say, don't have one dream. And they told us growing up, man, you gotta have a dream. I'm gonna tell you should have multiple dreams.
There you go.
Who has the same dream every night? Nobody. Have multiple dreams when you're doing anything, for sure.
And like, should the people expect any new music this year or just next year probably?
Probably next year. Right now, I'm kind of busy on my entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Until I figure out a way where they just make a constant streaming income, then yeah.
And
but
then,
yeah.
I also want to ask, like what producers are you liking nowadays? Like, who you listen to, like, as a producer or rapper? Like, hey man, that motherfucker, you know, she my language, but he or she bringing it.
I mean, I ain't really got enough to say names or whatever, but I mean, I do got my eye on a whole lot of new producers that's coming out. I do be checking out my man's forgot his name, but he be doing like he be having like beat contests online or whatever. Who got the dopest beat? Like he'll give them a sample or whatever, and they go in. They probably got an hour or something to make the beat. You know what I mean? I am feeling that. I am feeling some of the sessions that people be having with Timbaland. You know, Timbaland be catching a whole lot of these producers, man, y'all ain't never heard of. But when the songs, stuff like that start dropping, the music sound completely on another level. And you know that pretty much has something to do with Timbaland.
That's dope. That's dope. So, how can the people get in contact you for any of your products or services?
Well, I'm on Facebook. You can catch me as Antoine General Tron on Facebook. I'm on Instagram at Skylar Malons. That used to be my online store. I closed that store. But you can catch me there. You catch me on my Gmail is MrTronAutomatic@gmail.com. You can hit me up there. Inbox me on Facebook. I'm available, man. You know, I'm out here. You'll see my work.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you soon, man. So to then, people, though, check out the music, check out the products, and you know. Mr. Automatic will definitely be checking back in many times with us on this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Peace.
And I'm not icy, but I love to snatch your ice legs. My dog's thirsty, they'll go in your pockets on G.